I'll pop these wrist pins out real quick, or the retaining pin. Just have some really small pliers here. I'm just going to kind of try and grab this little pin here. I may need to actually soak this first. Okay, there we go. There's that retaining pin. There's one side's out. If I can get this other side out, I gotta put my magnifier on here. There we go. So those are out. I'm probably gonna just soak this real quick in some LA's Totally Awesome cleaner. Hopefully that'll clean up this, and then I can just kind of push this out. I'll get an appropriate sized Allen stock and just kind of press that out. Okay, I've soaked this for a couple seconds, not very long at all. I'm just going to use this ball-end wrench to kind of drive that pin out. You can see wrist pin's coming out now. And there's our connecting rod. There's our wrist pin. So all this is going to go get a nice little soak, and I'll clean it up real nice. And we'll take it from there. You can see now, I think you might be able to see a little bit better under the piston how nasty that is. This engine has had quite a bit of use. Either that or it was run really, really rich. But I mean, the top of the piston tells me it's got quite a bit of use on it. I'm hoping the ring is still in good enough shape to seal this thing so we don't have to put a new ring in it because I don't have one on hand. But we'll take that one step at a time after we clean these parts up. I've got these piston parts cleaned up as good as they're going to get cleaned up. So I was going to go ahead and put them together here. One thing I'm going to do first is I'm just going to put a light coat of oil on these parts. Kind of a little oil on these things so they fit together nice. Just lube this connecting rod hole up. So I'm going to put this connecting rod in here. Put the wrist pin in. See how nice and easily that thing slid in now. Slides in and out. Nice and easy. Next thing I'm going to do is put these wrist pin retainers in here. They're kind of small and kind of tough, but you see this curled end here, the outer end. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick that in first. I'm just going to kind of jam that thing home. I'm going to throw my magnifiers down here so I can see this. I'm going to try and get this in that groove and then just kind of finagle it in like that. And there, that side's in. Looks like my rod is pushed out a little bit. I got to recess that rod. Get this end going in the groove and just kind of jam that in place just like that. So you'll see this piston, the top was really dirty. I used some 3200 grit sandpaper to kind of clean the top up. I really didn't need to, but I did anyway. The owner of this engine told me this is pretty much just a garbage engine, so he doesn't really care what happens to it. He just gave it to me so I could put these videos together. So, but I just noticed I cleaned it off enough to see that there is actually an arrow that's pointing towards a, what's it pointing towards? See, it's probably pointing towards the exhaust port, because opposite that arrow is over here is where the ring groove is. So we wouldn't want the ring groove to be in the exhaust port area or in any area where there's porting. So now I need to take a look at this and make sure if that's the case that I've got this connecting rod on here right, which it looks like I'm going to need to pull it apart and swing it around here. Looks like this thing has ingested something at some time because there's a lot of scoring on the side of this piston. I'm seeing some scoring, some damage here on the connecting rod too. The bearings felt pretty good. I haven't got to the point of taking the crankshaft out yet, but this engine's definitely had some high use. But seeing as I have exposed this arrow, and I'm pretty sure that's supposed to point towards the exhaust port, I need to flip this connecting rod around. Alright, I flipped the connecting rod around. I'm going to install the piston ring now very carefully. I got to find where my pin is. My pin is here. So I'm just going to kind of open it on one side here. Just kind of try and walk this thing around. And there, just seated in there. You can see the piston really won't ring really well. It does want to turn around there, but once it's compressed in the cylinder, it's in the sleeve, it's not going to be able to turn around that. But hopefully this piston will still have some decent life and make some good compression. Kind of do a quick trial fit here. Hold that. These are our exhaust ports. So I want to point this thing towards the exhaust. Just doing this. Not really sure if that feels like it's got any compression or not. I don't feel a whole lot of resistance there. I guess we'll take it. See when it's all sealed up. It'll obviously give us a lot more compression then, but let's see what we can do next here.